Hi guys!
Hey guys!
Welcome back to another video. We're really excited to film this video for you guys because it is super highly requested. We get a lot of questions, I feel like all the time in our DMs, about how we feel about the no wedding situation a year and a half later and how we started our business. If you are new here, we started a business called Ferris. It is a modest clothing line. I will leave all the information in the description box down below, but we do get a lot of questions about whether that is related to why we didn't have a wedding. Was that how we were able to pull off a business? How did you guys do it? What steps did you take? So all those questions will be addressed in today's video, inshallah. And I'm excited. I think this is a good video for you guys because I had the same exact questions when we were at our starting point. So I think this will be helpful. Okay, so before we get started, we wanted to let you know that this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Our friends at Skillshare have been so kind and they gave us a really awesome deal that we'll share with you just a bit. But the reason why I wanted to tell you guys about Skillshare is because it has to do with our video today. I love watching business related podcasts and videos, and Skillshare is all about learning and basically using your time to learn new things, kind of get inspired, do some really good stuff. So when we were kind of brainstorming about our business, it really helped to watch those videos that kind of guide you through the process of creating a business and the creative aspect of it, and even like the marketing aspect, which is still very new to us because we're still learning along the way. But Skillshare has really helped us develop a really solid plan for our business, and I wanted to share a few video options with you guys. Those videos are amazing if you're looking to start your own little business. They will kind of guide you through the way and basically give you really good tips and tricks. So if you guys are interested in checking out Skillshare, make sure you head over to the description box down below. The first 1,000 people that click on that link will get access to a 1-month free trial membership to Skillshare, and it is their premium membership, which is amazing. So you'll have access to anything and everything for a full month, so make sure you take advantage of that.
First of all, I don't know why I'm wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, we're in the car, like, relax.
But like the thing is, when
look at his eyes, he's like, I don't know why I'm wearing sunglasses.
This is why I wear sunglasses. Whenever I'm in the sun, I squint and I can't see.
Yeah, Dawood has like...
Apparently there's this theory that goes around
eyes.
When you have like light color eyes, you can't see during the day.
That's not true. That's
and
only
at nighttime,
you.
Because your eyes are light, you can see better in the dark.
No, that's not true. I have the same color eyes as you. I'm perfectly fine. Anyways, okay, so let's get started. I'm going to ask you maybe a question or two, kind of get the conversation started. Is that cool?
Okay, go.
Okay, so
Let's get it started. Ha. Let's get it started in here.
Okay, so I guess the first question that most people ask us is they want an update about the no wedding situation. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we did not have a wedding. We just had a photo shoot and we called it a day.
There's a lot of new subscribers on our channel, so if this is repetitive, it's okay. We just want to describe it to you guys that are new here.
If you guys want to learn more about why we didn't do the whole wedding ceremony, you can head over to the description box below. I'll link the video for you guys that kind of broke the internet.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. It's a big waste of money. And then you can watch the rest of the video.
Do you still think it's a big waste of money?
Yeah, I think it is a big waste of money. I think it's like the best thing, like I said earlier, the best thing that we have ever done.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't personally think it's a big waste of money. I think your money could be used in better ways, 100%. But it all comes down to who the couple is and what means, like, what's important to them. Like, if let's say Dawood was the type that was like, oh, I don't want a wedding, that's a waste of money. But then I was like, no, that's my dream day. I've always wanted a wedding. Like, I just want to wear that white dress. And there would have to be some sort of compromise. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like his way only or my way only. There had to be a compromise. And that's when, like, the wedding is important, right? Because one of the couple or both of the people in the relationship value it.
Yeah, so like when we were like deciding if we were gonna have a wedding or not, or when we were deciding like all the wedding planning and stuff, I never once said like, okay, you know what, let's just not do a wedding. I like didn't care for a wedding.
He went along with it.
I just went along with it to make her happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I was going along with it to make him and his family happy. So we didn't realize that. We were just like...
So communication is key, obviously. I obviously like was like, oh my god, this when we start seeing the price tag of everything, we're like, oh my god, this is like, how are we gonna ever come up with this money? We want to purchase a house, we want to do this, we want to do that.
Yeah.
How are we ever gonna come up? We're gonna start our lives in debt. Obviously, I mentioned that, and I guess
and we were stressing.
You plant a seed a little bit in your wife's brain, and then it'll sprout, and then you'll get what you want. So that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, okay. Take all the credit now, don't you? But no, honestly, guys, it's a mutual decision that we came to together. And alhamdulillah, we're not going to go into too much detail because we have a whole video about why we decided to do what we did. You can watch it in the description box down below. But alhamdulillah, it's still one of the best decisions that we've ever made. And the main reason for that is because we didn't start our life in debt. Yeah. And our financial situation at the time would have meant that if we did a wedding, we would be in debt. And that's it. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, by all means, if you can afford it, if you could afford to throw $30,000-$40,000 down, do it, enjoy it. You know, you only live once. But like as a starting point in your life, this is like the first step taken in.
And I feel like a lot of couples are in our situation.
Majority of people are in our situation.
Especially in today's world where
everything's so expensive.
It's very expensive. To own a home, it's like a commodity
like
now.
From the year in Canada, from the year that we purchased a home and to now, the price has almost
shot
doubled.
Up,
it's crazy.
I think we can both agree that we still stand by the situation and the decision that we made. And it's no regrets.
Yeah, there is no regrets. And
regrets.
And on top of that, like the best thing that I think we did is like we made a YouTube video out of it, and so many people were followed along. They were encouraged to do the same, and it made us really happy. And people tell us like, oh my god, like if it wasn't for your video, me and my husband would have had like a big glamorous wedding, and we would have been in debt.
Yeah.
So,
and I love that about our channel, that we are able to kind of share our story and not just inspire people to do what we do, because that's not the point, but mainly make people feel like they're not alone. Like I don't ever want a couple to feel like, oh, I'm not like that Instagram couple or that YouTube couple that have everything and anything. Like you guys, we did not have everything and anything.
No, we worked.
We were nowhere near.
Butts off.
We're just like any other couple out there.
We're still working hard.
Yeah, and we're just sharing our story with you guys in hopes of it connecting with some of you guys, and I'm sure it has, because we've gotten a lot of feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
So now that we've answered the question of how do you feel about not having a wedding a year and a half later, like what's the update? So we're totally still happy. We don't regret it one bit. Yeah, that's it. Now that we've answered that question, I feel like we can get into the what did we do instead of the wedding. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't do a wedding, so what has it benefited us? How has it benefited us? What did we do instead?
So to put a price tag on our wedding, it was going to cost roughly $50,000 Canadian, which is a lot of money. Yes. That's pretty much everything we saved up, and imagine just throwing that all away.
Yeah.
So the best, and then like all my life, I just wanted to put a down payment. Like I want to own something, and you understand, like real estate is one of the best things to invest in.
Yeah.
Right. So at the time, I really wanted to put a down payment on a house, and we did it, and it was the best thing we ever did.
Yeah, so instead of putting the money that Dawood had saved up for potentially a home or some sort of thing to do in the future-wise, he had saved up that money for a very long time. Instead of putting it on the wedding, we ended up taking that money plus the money that I saved and put it on a down payment. And then a lot of you guys were asking, like, how are you able to save up that much money to put on a down payment? Down payments are very expensive. Yeah, and that 100%, we had to put a big down payment because at the time we weren't making enough for the bank to believe that we were responsible enough to pay for our mortgage.
Credit scores and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were still fresh with the bank.
All the purses she used to buy and all that, you know.
Whatever.
Actually, her credit score was better than mine.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Because we were still fresh with the banks and we didn't really have a name to ourselves, we needed his dad's help along the way to help us co-sign for the home, and thankfully he helped us out. And we also got help with you know how like in weddings, like you attend the wedding, you gift the couple some money or whatever. So instead of having a wedding and them gifting us there, they kind of like gifted it to us like as soon as we announced that we're not doing a wedding. They just were like, okay, here you go. Since you're not doing a wedding, here you go.
We did renovations to the house.
Yeah, so my dad gave us a very generous amount. His dad helped us out as well. So we took that money that we would have potentially gotten at the wedding, and we actually applied it to our home. So we ended up securing the home. We got a really beautiful home, alhamdulillah. alhamdulillah, and we're super happy about that. And the fact that we're able to own a home in our 20s, that's a huge accomplishment, especially here in Canada. It is very extremely hard to purchase
It is
a home.
extremely hard, but anyone can do it. Like I didn't do it myself. She didn't do it herself.
Yeah.
We had to like ask our parents.
We did it
to help us
together,
out.
and we had
Yeah.
our like
And
social
like I
circle
said,
around us
whatever
help
you set
us.
your mind to, you will get. You know, like her dad told us something. Like there was a house that we wanted to buy. We fell in love with this house. Like as soon as it came on the market, we went right away. It was over our budget. We gave them asking. We told them like, oh, we're gonna give you this much money, take it, and they rejected it. And this was like what they were asking for. And then her dad, like after we lost the house and stuff, we didn't win. Someone from Toronto came and like outbid us by like $40,000. Her dad came and he's like, well, this is what you learn. If you really want something, even if you don't have it, there's always a way to get it. There's always a way to get it. You could ask someone to lend you. You could ask someone. There's always a way. That's my point.
Yeah. I think what my dad meant was like, if you really, really, really want something, you will find a way with God's help to get that something. So that really inspired us, because at the time we kind of like, with just doors were closing in our face. We weren't finding the right home, all that kind of stuff, and it was just really expensive. So we felt kind of helpless, and we felt kind of lost because it was our first time ever doing anything like this. So my dad told me, he's like, don't give up. You guys will get the home you want. You just have to find a way to do it, and you have to be determined to find that way, you know. So alhamdulillah, we got our home.
We had to wait a long time for it.
We waited a long time. We had to be patient. We had to find different avenues, different ways to basically compile this down payment and put it on our home.
It kind of worked out to our favor, because like the house we bought now, it was like a pre-construction house.
Yes.
So pretty much we didn't have to put a huge down payment at the time. We had to just pay the builder, and then slowly but surely you start paying the builder a little bit more by the time the closing date comes. And then when we get to the closing date, which was like 7 months later, you put down the rest of the down payment.
Yeah, so it was gradual rather than getting a finished home and having to dump all that money at one shot.
So it worked out to our favor because like we were able to save during the time, and we were able to figure out exactly what we wanted to do. And like us furnishing the house, we don't forget that you need money for that. There was another chunk of money,
like almost $20,000 just to furnish
the entire house.
Yes.
So it worked out to our favor, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so we were able to accomplish the goal that we wanted, since we didn't have a wedding. Now, the other goal that we wanted was to have a honeymoon, because we didn't have a wedding. We wanted to at least celebrate and do something for ourselves and have memories to look back and say like, yeah, we did something together that we enjoyed and made memories with, you know? So we scheduled a honeymoon, a really beautiful one, but because of COVID, it got canceled. And then we actually ended up going around September?
Yeah, September. So
yeah,
like
around
7
September.
months after our wedding.
After our wedding. So, by the way, when we say we did our wedding, it means like that's just the day that we moved in and we did a photo shoot. That's what we consider our wedding. And that's one thing that I want to make a point to you guys as well, is your wedding could be anything you want it to be. It literally doesn't have to have the typical celebration. It doesn't have to have the typical whatever banquet hall, 300 guests. It could be whatever you want it to be. A wedding is a marriage, right? And how you want to celebrate it comes down to you and your partner. And that's something that we had to learn, right? It's not something that is really taught to people, and tradition doesn't really say it that way. But honestly, whatever makes you happy is what you should do. And obviously with the acceptance of your family and all your people around you, you want to make everyone happy as well. I totally get that, but you got to make sure that you don't fall into the idea that a wedding should be a certain way. So now that we wanted to have a honeymoon instead of our wedding, it got canceled. We ended up having it in September. It was absolutely beautiful. We went to Greece. It was like one of the best moments of our lives. We just had all the time in the world for ourselves.
And we're dying to travel right now, but keep going.
So that was really, really nice. We were able to splurge a little bit on the honeymoon, because I felt comfortable splurging on the honeymoon because it was for us.
It was a memory.
It was a memory. It was something that I felt was worth putting money towards, rather than that one day event that we were kind of
20 times more than
that we were catering to everyone else, you know what I mean? So we were able to create the same kind of memories but for ourselves. Now that we had the move-in date, we got our home, we had our honeymoon, we were like, what else do we want to do? what do we want to do? We started thinking like, okay, we did all those like little milestones that you're supposed to do when you first meet someone, but what did we want to do as a couple together?
Have kids.
No. See, that's the traditional next step, is to have kids. And guys, don't get me wrong, I love kids and I cannot wait, inshallah, to have kids. We're super excited to have kids, but we wanted to do something for ourselves first for the benefit of our kids in the future. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to bring kids into our lives when we are already trying to make sense of our lives as a couple.
And pretty much I was 24/7 at the restaurant. I was there all the time.
Yes.
And I don't want that if I had kids and I'd be 100%. There all the time. And like, I seen the way my family lives, and I seen the way they think and all that. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to live all my life dedicated
to work. You know, you don't want to be like 24/7 at work and not spend time with your son or your daughter. So we wanted to be like, in a comfortable zone.
Exactly. Like me, for example, I play goalkeeper. I'm a goalie. I'm a soccer player. So I started playing soccer when I was 18 years old. And long story short, my dad used to play professional. He was a professional goalkeeper. And I didn't know I was good until I turned 18. They threw me in a net one day, and people started shooting, and I played good, and I ended up becoming semi-pro. But like, if my dad put the effort in when I was younger, especially that he has so much experience, I would have got to the where I would have been professional, no problem. And I want to do that for my kids. Like, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but you
want to be there for your kids every step of the way.
Exactly.
Every milestone, you want to be there. You don't want to miss any bit, and we want to be like active parents.
Yeah.
And we can't do that if we're scrambling to figure ourselves out and scrambling to figure out parenthood. So we wanted to leave that aside for a bit and kind of focus on ourselves first, and then inshallah expand our family and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the next step for us was, to kind of figure out financially, what are we going to do to make ourselves more financially stable, more financially successful, so that way we can kind of work our way up through life. So at the time, Dawood was working at the restaurant and I was working on social media. We kind of realized that us being separated apart and not being able to work collaboratively has slowed us down.
Yeah.
So
especially Canadian winters.
Yeah, so we needed each other to get bigger on social media and to kind of grow ourselves in that way. So he ended up slowly kind of diverting away from the restaurant, and he started to take less and less shifts at the restaurant to be able to take my photos and be at these events with me and all that stuff. So eventually...
And she doesn't pay me!
Ugh, excuse me. You don't even do a good job. Eventually, we realized that this could go somewhere, and if we work together harder, we could get even further. So that is when... Actually, let's backtrack a little bit, because at the time... At the time, I was like daydreaming of starting my own business in terms of a modest clothing line, like a practical modest clothing line. That has always been my dream ever since I was a little kid. So I kept daydreaming about that, and it was the pandemic and everything was just, so I wasn't really inspired to do anything about it. But Dawood kept pushing me. He's like, do it. Like, do it. This is the time. You have all the time in the world right now. Just, focus on it. Do it. Do something for yourself, and maybe it could come something big. You don't know. And I was very insecure about it. Yeah. I wasn't super confident. So what
I was trying to tell her is take a risk, or a regret.
Yeah.
And I'd rather take a risk and lose than regret.
Yeah, than regret not doing it. Yeah. 100%. And because of his push and his confidence in me, I basically ended up taking it more seriously. I started working on the brand ever since last year.
Happy wife.
And
you're supposed to act like you didn't hear me.
Ew, you're so cringy. And we got to a point where I was able to, start really working on the business. We actually made it into a business name, and we put an image behind it, and we got samples, and that's where our business started. Just by Dawood believing in me and pushing me to do something that he thought was a risk but worth taking. And that is where Ferris was born. We're like, okay, we're doing this. And it just went boom, 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 boom after that. It was super quick and fast and crazy.
It was a long process.
It was a long process. It required a lot of work.
A lot of work, a lot of heartaches.
Yeah.
But here we are now.
Yeah. And financially, we were able to achieve this, again, by not having a wedding and not being in debt.
Yeah.
That way, everything that we were made, we were in the profit
So pretty
zone.
much everything we have to pay every month for our payments, we'd split the costs and put it on there. And then whatever we saved up and put it towards the business.
Yeah, so we were able to save up with our current jobs because we had no immense debt.
Yeah.
You know, if we had debt, we would be constantly putting our savings towards that debt, and we would not be in the positives.
Yeah.
So because we didn't have any debt, and we had you know, good paying jobs, like I would say our jobs are very good, right? So, but they weren't obviously, like, we're not like, you know, millionaires.
Like we got by every month.
Yeah,
especially
we got
pre-COVID.
by like perfectly fine, and that was 100% acceptable for me and him. But we just wanted to do better for ourselves. We wanted to save more.
I didn't want to be stuck behind four walls every single day in a restaurant serving people.
Yes.
You know, so like I wanted to grow out of that.
Yeah. And we wanted to be our own bosses.
Yeah.
We wanted to work for ourselves. We wanted to
I don't want to work for you anymore, Bubba.
Bro, I'm sweating.
I know, me
This
too.
car is so hot. Oh my god. This is not a highlighter, guys. This is sweat. Anyways, so we got to the point where this business was starting rolling, and financially we were able to achieve it because we were in debt. We were super happy, alhamdulillah, but it was not easy, you guys. We had to put every single penny we had into this business.
Like we got to a point where the stuff came to our house, and all of a sudden there was another bill to pay. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Taxes and duties?
Yeah.
What, that
and
much?
We were so scared because we couldn't even afford it. Like, don't think like our business was a smooth sailing ride. It was not. We went through a lot of bumps on the road, especially financially, because we invested a lot of money into this business. But we knew, like my dad had said, that if you want something, you have to get it, and you have to take the risk for it, and just let God guide you through the way. And alhamdulillah, like, it's been an amazing learning experience for us. We've learned so much, you guys. Like, I could walk into like Canada Post right now and package an order and weigh it and dimensions and everything.
You won't know anything if you don't do anything.
Yes.
So you won't learn anything. So you could read all you want. You could sit down and read a book. You could learn about things. But once you're in that situation in a real life standpoint, you won't know anything until you do it.
Mm-hmm. And you really have to dive into it to learn everything on the go. You know, there isn't like a textbook that you can read that will have all the answers for you. You just dive into it. You do your research. You go in informed, but you also have to accept the fact that you're going to learn along the way. And that's what we had to learn. You know, we're the type of people that want to know everything before we start something.
Yeah.
And we had to learn, like, no, you're not going to know everything. You just have to jump in and swim right through it, you know, and you'll make it.
Yeah.
I guess the moral of the story is this is how we were able to start our business, and it all ties back to the no wedding.
Yes.
Honestly, we wouldn't have been able to achieve it had it been like if we had not made that decision. And alhamdulillah, we were both on the same page. If we weren't, that would have been a different issue. But I feel like if we hadn't made that decision, we would have been in debt, and then we would have been working paycheck to paycheck, and then we would be too scared or not even in a position to take that big risk.
Yeah, once we start seeing a little bit of money, we're like, okay, you know what? Finally, we're making money.
Yeah, and then we'd be too comfortable in our jobs, and we would just stay there and then not grow. And then Dawood would have probably inherited the restaurant. I would have had free food for the rest of my life, but...
you still my restaurant.
But we could be making more money now, and I could buy the restaurant from him. You know what I'm saying? If you guys have any like specific questions about how we started a business, you can leave it in the comments down below, and then we'll just answer them there. That way it's a kind of like a forum, I guess, you know, like a back and forth question answer. That way we're kind of engaging with you guys and answering your questions. So if you have any specific questions about starting a business, let us know in the comments down below. I'll try to help you as much as you can, as much as I can. And Don't forget to check out Skillshare. They have amazing videos on how to, start your business from the foundation up, all the way from literally starting the business from scratch to marketing it, to growing it, to social media presence, everything. So if you're interested in Skillshare, check out the link in our description box. The first 1,000 people to click on that link will get a 1-month free trial to their premium membership. So take advantage of that, especially if you're into starting a business, no matter how small. It's useful.
Also, there's going to be a giveaway soon, so stay tuned for that.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.
See you in the comments. Bye.